What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex. In this video, I want to talk about something very, very controversial. I want to give my impressions on it, my opinion, discuss if what Naughty Dog has done and what seemingly they're going to be doing over the next little while, basically banning people from tweeting back to them. And also, I guess we can talk about them, eliminating comments on a lot of their videos, if this is the right call. Now, listen, I know The Last of Us Part 2 is extremely, extremely divisive. I get that there are the fans. I get that there are the haters. And you know what? I know people may say this, and maybe like everybody says this, but I truly mean it. I see both sides. I have no problem, truly, and you just have to believe me on this, I have no problem with either side. So I'm truly trying to be as neutral as humanly possible and seeing the side of the people that are excited and still love Naughty Dog and still love The Last of Us and want to get The Last of Us Part 2 and are super excited, and then the people that are completely against it, okay? I understand it. I get it. I just want to make that very clear in the beginning. Also, very, very clearly, let me say this before I get into this. No spoilers. Do not spoil anything Last of Us Part 2 related in the comments below, okay? I'm going to just remove them. We don't do spoilers before things come out. I understand the spoilers for this game are out. They're everywhere, but not everybody has seen them. Not everybody wants to see them. And so let's keep it civil. Let's talk about, and you guys can go wild attacking Naughty Dog or not attacking them based off of what they've done on these social media sites. All right, so let's get into this. So, the story is pretty much easy, right? So yesterday, Naughty Dog tweeted out the whole, where it was like the ending of the Last of Us Part, Last of Us 1, the first game, and then Last of Us Part 2, and it was talking about, picking up where we left off. And they used Twitter's new thing that is definitely controversial in its own right, where you cannot comment to it. You cannot do any tweets to it. So it's got likes, it's got retweets, but it does not have any comments or any tweets, I should say, to it. And that has made I think the community or the internet completely flip out. Okay? Now, and again, on top of that, we know that I believe the developer diaries, right? And then I think even like Neil Druckmann's response to fans back when the leaks happened, they disabled comments on them. So you have all these things happening. I will say, again, I see both sides of it. I take different sides on different parts of The Last of Us Part 2. What I will say here is I understand why they're doing it. Like, it makes sense, but it is making them look very, very bad. This is not a good look for Naughty Dog. Now, again, I understand it. Something like this doesn't happen all that often, okay? There's been leaks before. Every game, if you guys watch the channel, I cover a lot of leaks here, okay? I like talking about them, but I talk about them in the sense of, well, we don't know if they're true. And, let's just have fun with it. Let's see if it ever comes out. I make it very clear if I'm going to spoil anything, right? So I give people that kind of thing. We don't put, like, the thumbnail of, like, if somebody dies or if something big happens in a game, we don't put that in the thumbnail, okay? So, like, all these things, right? What happened to Last of Us Part 2 is very different, okay? I think we can all agree, again, whether you hate the leaks or you've never seen the leaks or you love the leaks, whatever. No matter where you stand, you have to admit that this is big. It has happened before. It happened to Valve, right? But it's never to Naughty Dog happen. And in the gaming industry, this does not happen all that often. It happens not even like once every 5-6 years. It happens even less often than that. So you have to understand, I think, and this is honestly where I stand on this. You have to understand that there are people out there that are just spoiling it left and right. And again, you can have the opinion you want on the leaks, but not everybody wants to see them. Not everybody has seen them. And that's just the biggest point and that's where I've always stood, truly. Now, I even made a video talking about that, right? That's where I've always stood on these leaks I get it. And I have no problem with you, spoiling it for yourself. And I also have no problem of you deciding only based off of I know a lot of people have taken the stance that, we need to play the game first and all that kind of stuff. Some people think that, and you know what? Again, I completely understand that because it is possible that maybe there's like a sliver of hope that the game can redeem itself, right? It's possible. And at the same time, I completely understand those that say, you know what? Nope, I saw the leaks. I'm absolutely not doing it. More power to you. I truly do. And I've always stood by this. I completely understand. But it's not up to you to decide if everybody should see these leaks. That is my biggest thing, is if somebody doesn't want the game spoiled, they shouldn't have to put themselves in harm's way, right? So again, why am I saying all this? Well, you take all that and you say, okay, well, that's why. And I should say this. That's what Naughty Dog is saying. That's what Sony is saying, right? In fact, I think they even issued a statement saying, like, the reason they're doing this is because they don't want, quote-unquote, trolls, out there. And again, does that make sense? Yeah, because there are people that are just going out there. We had an incident in the Discord server, right? We've had incidents in live streams where people have accidentally said something, okay? Even by accident. They didn't even mean to, because they're not even sure if the leaks are true, okay? So we've had that even happen to us, and we're a 34,000 subscriber channel. Imagine others, okay? So I do understand it. In the grand scheme of things, you're trying to protect those that haven't seen it and don't want to see it. That's the biggest thing. It's mainly the people that want to still support Naughty Dog, want to, go on this tweet, click this tweet, like it, retweet it, go on the YouTube video, the Neil Druckmann, same thing, like it, leave a comment, maybe they want to go down and read other people's comments and respond. They're doing it for them, to protect them, so that they don't run into leaks or things like that. Now, what I will say is I'm a big fan of being independent and doing, basically taking care of yourself, okay? And so what do I mean by that is, well, you have to have that kind of sense, right? If you go clicking on a video that talks about leaks, let's say, and then you go to the comments and you complain about them, but in the first 30 seconds or whatever, that they say, hey, we're going to talk about spoilers here, so stop watching if you don't want to be spoiled. But then if you go in the comments and you start complaining about it, that's your fault. That is ultimately, you clicked the video, you watched the video, you were warned, and you still did it. Okay, so I get trying to protect. There's a difference between protecting people, though, and again, making the decisions for them, right? People should be able to so even if you want to support a video like, say, the Neil Druckmann one, the response to the leaks, okay? And they disabled comments on it. But let's imagine if you didn't disable comments, okay? Well, I do get it. Maybe you're less inclined to click that video, but ultimately, again, that's up to you, because even if you didn't see the leaks, you still probably know, what do you know? What do you know? You know that leaks are everywhere on the internet. You've been warned that, hey, if you go on certain things, you're going to get spoiled. So you got to be very careful. And then you still chose to click on a Neil Druckmann response video to the leaks and go into the comments of it, okay? So that is, yes, it's other people that are spoiling it in the comments, and that's their fault, but it also does rest on you to not do something like that. You know what I mean? So I try to stand very much in the middle. I really do stand on independence and making decisions for yourself. I say that in all of these the videos that I talk about in terms of leaks. What do I always say? It's not me leaking it. It's completely up to you if you want to believe it or not believe it. Now again, these leaks are a little bit more than that, right? Like, a lot of it did actually happen. But ultimately, it's up to you if you want to support something like that. And not necessarily that support as in give your money. I mean support like if you want to click on the YouTube video and leave a comment, that's your right. And that's something that if it gets spoiled for you, it sucks. It's the person who spoiled it that wrote it, and you can blame them. But you can also kind of put it on you as well for putting yourself in that. You know what I mean? You got to be wary of putting yourself into that situation. And again, it is tough. It is absolutely tough because a lot of things can sometimes happen by accident. I've been around for a long time on YouTube, and I've had my favorite franchises, or the biggest things to me, be spoiled. Like Pirates of the Caribbean, that's my favorite film franchise. Pirates 5, the last Pirates movie that came out, that was like when we were just starting to grow. We hit 1,000 subscribers in that time. We hit 5,000 subscribers in that time. We grew a lot. I had that movie spoiled for me. And I cannot even put into words how excited I was for that film. I've had both Star Wars Episode 8 and 9 spoiled for me. I've had games spoiled for me. I almost had Uncharted 4, but I really tried to stay away just because of how important that game, I thought that game was going to mean, and it did, by the way. So, you know what I mean? Like, it does happen. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. It does. I do understand it. It's very, very difficult, but you have to take some responsibility. You have to be, even like right now, I'm going to try to delete this because I have seen the spoilers, so I'm okay seeing them, but I'm going to try and delete anybody that trolls and does spoil the game in the comments, because I literally told you don't do that, okay? So I'm going to try and do that, but also, based off what I just said in this video, you should know that going into the comments is going to be a little dangerous. I haven't said a single word about the spoilers in the game, so it's okay to watch, but if you scroll down right now, you may be in some trouble. I'll try and help you as much as I can, but you know, I can't be on this channel 24/7, you know what I mean? So I do understand it. I really do. I get where Naughty Dog's coming from, but couple that with the YouTube comments being disabled, Twitter, the new feature, and then also the fact that they're doing those strikes on Twitter, they're doing copyright strikes on YouTube and taking people's videos down for talking about it. Even some people that aren't actually talking. Now, again, if they're taking down videos talking about the spoilers, I do think there's something there. There's some merit there because, again, you're literally leaking this big game, and you're hurting the company. In fact, there's got to be some sort of legal thing in there that you can't do that, and there is. So I think there is reason to do something about it if you're going out there and you're listing off all the bullet points of what happens in this game, and you're showing the videos that leaked and all that stuff. There's a reason to take you down. There truly is. But if you're discussing it without really, pointing it out and saying if you hate it, and you're getting copyright struck, that's not okay. That's not okay. That's being too basically weak in that you don't like criticism, and that's on Naughty Dog, that's on Sony. So again, like I stand in the middle. I try and stand in the middle of all this. I get why Naughty Dog did it. I get why maybe they should do it, like the actual moral reason of why you would disable comments, disable tweets. I get that, but at the same time, again, it's kind of not necessary. It actually kind of is not necessary, but I do see both sides. So guys, spoiler free, let me know in the comments below what you think about all this. What do you think about Naughty Dog doing these things? Please, I know there's going to be the trolls. I know there's going to be people that immediately spoil this game. Please don't do that. If you see somebody, try and let me know. I'm going to be watching this video, with the comments, so I'll be trying to take down as many as I can, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you all on the next video.